Hello beauties, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood and I'm excited to do the next episode of Let's Create a Healthy Relationship with Money. I really hope you enjoy this video. When you watch this video, if you like it, please like, subscribe, and comment, and let's get into it. Alright y'all, I'm probably going to be saying this a lot throughout all the videos that we do, but chapter 4 is a long chapter. Once again, it's also very anecdotal, so I'll probably read you some of the anecdotes and then we'll get on to like the actual process that it's trying to teach during this chapter 4. I have a feeling that the next part of this process is going to be the more difficult part for me, purely for the fact that this is going to require some action from me versus just writing in my journal. I mean, that's still going to be a part of it. Alright, so the beginning of this chapter is called Heal Your Relationship with Money. It says, back in the days when kids could still buy candy with coins, 2 8-year-old twin boys each received a quarter from their father. As they walked down the street towards the local store, thinking about what they would buy with that shiny quarter, one twin kept his quarter safely tucked away in his pocket, the other happily walked along, flipping his quarter into the air and smiling to himself every time he caught it, until he didn't. When the quarter flipped beyond his reach, he watched in frantic horror as it dropped through the sewer drain at the side of the road. He immediately threw himself onto the grate, stretching his arm through the narrow opening as far as it would go. When his arm couldn't quite reach the bottom to retrieve it, so I'm going to skip a little bit of this because I don't want to read you all the whole book, but basically it goes on to say that his brother was able to spend money on bubblegum, he wasn't able to spend money on bubblegum. They went home, his dad asked, what did you spend your money on? Because he didn't see him with the bubblegum. He says, I lost my quarter. And his dad, of course, is like, what do you mean you lost your quarter? He tried to explain, and his dad said, never play with your money. And so basically, after his dad says that, his grandfather comes up and says, your papa has a point about not playing with money, but there's another way to look at this. He said, never go anywhere with just 1 quarter to lose. That young boy was Grant Cardone, who told me he remembers that day like it was yesterday. He still believes money isn't something we should play with, and if you ever heard him talk about money, you know he takes it very seriously. But he also still agrees with his grandfather. It's always better to have more money than you need. Instead of living life being afraid to lose money, he has learned how to have a better relationship with it by learning to take care of it. Author says, Grant goes on to say to him, money is secretive for most people. Most people don't know what they make because they want to keep it a secret. Drug addicts don't know how much they use. The alcoholic doesn't know how much they drink. They're not accounting for anything, and the relationship then goes bad. You've got to inventory your money. The first thing I look at every day is my money, so I have a great relationship with it. Grant could have chosen to let the quarter experience scar his money story. He could have chosen to live in fear of losing money. Instead, he chose to dive in and heal his relationship with money. Agree with Grant or not, you can't argue with his success. Today, he's a real estate investor with billions under his management, an equity fund manager, a co-founder, investor in nearly 20 businesses, and the same choice Grant made is available to you. Whether you know it or not, you have a relationship with money. As we've seen, that relationship has been shaped by your money story. We learned how to create a relationship with money in the same way we figured out how to interact with other people when we were children. Observation and experience. After that, it says, our minds interpret what we noticed about our parents, older family members, and others we encountered as they interacted with money. It's tough to try to repair a relationship with money with another person, let alone with something as complicated as money. It says, but the longer you ignore the fact that your relationship with money could use some improvements, the worse it gets. Jay Shetty, someone I watch as a podcaster, and where I found this book actually, says, a host of On Purpose says it perfectly. By feeling uncomfortable to address money, you spend more time obsessed with the lack of it. Okay, I can understand that. And until you heal your relationship with money, nothing can change for the better. Because if you don't care for your money won't care for you. Okay, clock it. Let's see if that's true. The next part is my relationship with money. Let's see what the chapter's got to say about that, because I gotta know. Y'all, I gotta know. So once again, I'm skipping some of this because there's 2 back-to-back anecdotal story. I don't think you need to hear both of those stories to really understand what the beginning of this chapter is about. The next point says, have you ever believed that if you lost money, you'd be broke on the streets? Maybe you grew up in an environment that was filled with scarcity. Maybe you didn't feel like you were important or valued in your relationship with your family and friends. You may have similar thoughts running through your mind. Am I enough for this relationship, with or without money? Am I worthy of having money? Would anyone pay me money for what I can do? I'm too young to have money. I'm not experienced enough to have money. I'm not qualified to manage money. No matter how many times you've thought these things, I need you to hear me. You are worthy. You are never too old or too young. Any kind of healing begins with taking responsibility for your behaviors, asking why you do the things you do, and acting on that kind of clarity. Experience, qualifications, and skills are things you can get once you're clear on your meaningful money mission. As many people have said in various ways, it's easier to behave yourself into a new way of thinking than to think yourself into a new way of acting. Okay, that's helpful. In other words, act first and you'll start believing instead of waiting to believe before you take action. I think that I said earlier in this video that my biggest hurdle was going to be the action thing, but I think what that really means is that I don't believe I can do it. And so what this is telling me, that I just have to do it. The 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, just get up and go. Don't worry about it. Don't think about it. Just go for it. And yeah, I think this is going to be really helpful. The next part of this book is called Money Trauma, so we know we going to get into it, fam. So let's see what they got to say about money. So immediately into money trauma, of course, there's another anecdote. I'm just going to read this part. It says, I was only about 10 years old when I experienced what proved to be some pretty serious money trauma. My dad had given me a little U.S. Postal Service piggy bank where I proudly stored every coin or dollar bill I got. During the summer, one of my older sisters seemed to always have a bunch of teenage friends over to just hang out. I thought I would impress a few of the teen boys and show them the bank stashed under my bed in my bedroom and the cash I had saved inside of it. I felt pleased with myself until I checked the bank a few hours later. All the money was gone. I had been robbed in my own bedroom, and then I realized my mistake. The bank had a sticker on the bottom with a simple access code. I had unwittingly shown the gang exactly how to steal my money. I stormed down the stairs. Look, the money was in the bank, and then I showed it to you, and now it's gone. I expected a full confession and my money to be promptly returned. Instead, I got a chorus of, "We didn't take it." And that was that. Wow. Interesting. Next he talks about what that experience did to him, and we'll get into it. It goes on to say, from this experience, my previous stealing spree, and other experiences, I learned what it felt like to have money taken from me and to take money from others. I came to know the deep disappointment I felt, both with how I felt about other people and what other people felt about me. As a result, I often felt tremendous guilt about my stealing behavior, even decades later as an adult. Felt that a lot of money trauma happens when people and money are simply out of alignment with an agreement to exchange value. For example, if I'm just abusing the value of others by taking from them without an equal and consensual exchange, I am out of alignment emotionally, spiritually, and physiologically in that interaction. On the other hand, if I'm giving money as a gift out of kindness of my heart, I am in alignment because I am willingly sharing value. Okay, I like that. As a child, when I stole money or stole anything, really, I was out of alignment. I hadn't earned it and I had no right to it. Being out of alignment created an emotional wound within me. The more I did it, the bigger the wound became, the stronger the story felt, and the harder it was to break that pattern of behavior. Once I had normalized it, or better yet, justified it, I thought I would get away with being out of alignment without consequences. It made me feel powerful in the moment to steal, although it was truly disempowering, an action to take advantage of someone in that way. Wow, I can really relate to that. That's really interesting. Wow. This book is really opening up some thoughts that I just never really had. Sorry, I'm losing words. I don't know, I just never realized how deep it goes. Like how every moment I've had with money has informed how I deal with it, what story I tell myself in every single aspect of my life when it comes to involvement. It says here, the sense of being out of alignment can be about small things that you dismiss as nothing, but over time build and become bigger wounds. Parents often unintentionally create those wounds with well-meaning statements. We can't afford that. Do you have any idea how much that costs? Money doesn't grow on trees. Do you know how hard I worked to get this? And you just broke it. What a waste, and so on. They unintentionally cause children to develop a negative connotation around all things related to money. So true. You might also come to feel out of alignment if you believe you're doing a job or delivering a service but not getting paid what you're worth. I agree. That's what I'm going through right now. As we'll unpack in the chapters to come, you can do something about that by using the money habits. But for now, just acknowledge that there are a lot of ways you have probably developed money wounds without even realizing it at the time. Whether someone stole from you, took advantage of you and your money, manipulated you to get your money, or abused the relationship in a way that involved money, there's trauma associated with that. And you have told yourself a story about it. Now the story may be true, but if you allow that to be your story, you'll never heal your relationship with money. The wound will continue until you reclaim your power and heal from the wound. It doesn't mean what happened to you was good, right, or even okay. But by learning how to heal from it, you give yourself more power in the future and minimize the emotional impact of it. You won't lose the memory per se, but you won't have the same debilitating emotions tied to it. And that's what I'm really trying to get around, is the debilitating emotions that circulate in my anxious brain on a consistent basis, and how I know that is a roadblock and why I'm doing this journey in the freaking first place. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be a long chapter and we're not gonna get through it in this video. I'm just letting y'all know now. I say this in the beginning, but if you can hear some background noise, it's because my air conditioning's on. It's very hot today. Every day of the summer in Kansas is hot. Anyways, so the next section is called Make Money Your Friend. Now that I've been on a journey to heal my relationship with money, I don't feel the guilt I once did about letting people pay for me. I enjoy paying for people too. I don't do it from a place of shame or guilt anymore, but from a place of feeling abundant. I feel grateful for the value I'm creating in life and want to give gifts to friends and family. But if someone blocks a gift someone wants to give them, they are blocking an energy exchange. If they refuse the gift, it's like they are robbing that person of actually giving that gift. On the other hand, if they say nothing in return or they're not appreciative, that also blocks the giving energy, showing a lack of appreciation for the value I or anyone brings to the relationship. I even think that when you receive money, it's good practice to thank money. That's right. Say thank you, money, for coming my way. And thank you to the person who gave it to me. In doing so, you'll create more energy flow to receive more. Likewise, when you have the ability to give someone money, you should say, I'm so grateful that I have this money coming to me so I can give more. So true. I agree with that. And next, more things. More things to read. There's so much to read. Okay, after this little bit, I think I'm probably going to end the video because this is a lot. We're not even going to get into the book work or any of the real nitty gritty of this, because there's just so much information here to get through. And the book says, after this, Ken Honda, international best-selling author of Happy Money, The Japanese Art of Making Peace with Your Money, suggests the same thing. When money comes to you, say arigato, or thank you, to money. So when you pay money, when money leaves your life, once again, say arigato to your money. Really, thank the money for staying with you. Even if it was a short visit, thank it for staying. Money will love that. And then at night, money will just start to say, Ken is a good place to go, and then money will come back. Interesting. I like this viewpoint. Be open to feeling good about the energy flowing in both directions. If you're blocking it, you're saying, no, I can't do this. And then you keep those opportunities from flowing to you. But if you feel emotionally good about it, you rewire yourself to create more of those situations. According to Ken Honda, the key to healing your relationship with money is to become friends with it. My favorite question to ask people is, if money was a person, who would it be? Would it be a fun person, always joking and always entertaining you? Or is it somebody like an assassin who's going to try to hurt you or scare you, or a gangster who tries to intimidate you? If you're complaining, money may not be such a fun, good person. By complaining, you make money by being a villain, and you don't want the scary person living in your house. Just look at it from money's perspective. If you've been complaining about it, the feeling is mutual. If you complain about it, money will say, no, I'm not coming to you. This means honestly looking at how you feel about money and making the commitment to change your perspective so you can shift your emotions. Only then can you cultivate the right energy flow between you and money. If you don't want it near you, why would it come to you? But if you make it your friend, it feels welcome. I love Ken's perspective because it really takes us out of our egos and helps us see things from a broader perspective. When we realize that we have a relationship with money and that it's reciprocal, we can understand more clearly why we're having trouble with it. Okay, I really like this. I really like this. This is super important, y'all, and I'm really happy to be doing this work with y'all. I'm just trying to see if there's anything else I want to read you all before I end this video. And honestly, I think I'm going to end it here. I know this was kind of probably what feels like a short video, but I don't know. Like I said, I want to take my time with these chapters, and it's just really difficult to get through a whole chapter in one sitting without these videos being over 20 minutes long. And I just don't want them to be 20 minutes long because I'm gonna have other videos that are long. So thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with me. I hope you enjoy this and that you go with this money journey with me, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next one. And it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Thank you all, and goodbye.